Hey guys, welcome to the Joe Jaguar Show, and I wanted to show you guys what do I use, or if you guys would like to know, or if ever thought, what do I use when I go to dark sites, dark country view. And again, I am using this shirt here that Angelus got me for Father's Day, and although it's a long sleeve shirt, probably better for fall or something, I just figure I'll wear it. Anyway, if you've watched my videos in 2020, I did 4 videos in dark skies. One was going up north, part 1 and 2, going to some of the darkest skies, gray zone type of thing. So check those out if you haven't. But this year we've gone once. So normally what I bring is something like an 8-inch SCT, as you see it here. Sometimes I may bring it on the EQ5 mount, just because that way I don't have to worry about batteries, tracking, go-to. I can just point it, in a few seconds, and that's it. There was only one object that I failed to get manually, because it was just a weird angle. I was literally on my knees on the beach trying to look straight up, which was the Cat's Eye Nebula. I have seen it before, but it's been a long time, and I wanted to show Angelus, but that time I didn't find it. So it's rare that I don't find anything manually, but I was literally on the floor looking up, and it was just, if the angle was better, it probably would have been easier. But anyway, that's not the point. So normally what I do is I bring an 8-inch SCT, normally on the EQ5, so everything is manual tracking. And again, when you're in dark zones, you want to be looking at the deep sky objects, of course. It's like the stuff that you're not going to see in the city. So galaxies, nebulas, globular clusters, things like that. And so that's one. And sometimes I might use a focal reducer, because a lot of those deep sky stuff, some are really big, and with a 2000 millimeter focal length SCT doesn't always work. So I have two things: a focal reducer that turns it into f6.3 from an f10, and then I have 2-inch eyepieces, low power, that I can get, as low as I can go. Second scope that I normally brought is, forget about this guy right now, was, or a couple of weeks ago, the last video I did, going to a friend's cottage in a gray zone, I brought a 4.7-inch f5 refractor and achromat. Again, that's for those huge, wide field of view. Things like, you might be asking, like what? What can that do that this guy can't do? Okay, stuff like the coat hanger cluster. That's really almost like a binocular field of view. So I used a 56 millimeter, gets me about, I think it's 11 power or 13 power, something like that. So it's almost like binocular. I showed that to Angelus. The Veil Nebula, North American Nebula, maybe Andromeda, huge things like that, the Pelican Nebula. However, I just decided I traded the 4.7-inch f5 to a 4-inch f5. And the reason for that is I found the 4.7-inch is 600 millimeter focal length, and this one is 500 millimeter focal length, so it's 100 millimeter less. And I found even using a 56 millimeter 2-inch eyepiece on the 4.7, that was like, I'll have to look at it, but I think it was 13 power. That's basically about the lowest I can go. Now, I just about glimpsed the North American Nebula. Now it's a border zone 2, or called a gray zone, but I don't know. Maybe it's maybe 2.5, like in between a 2 and a 3, because I have seen it even more clear, and this time it was on the edge of detection, even with a filter. And there was a couple cottage lights, but they're pretty far in the distance. They're not really that close. Anyway, that's besides the point. Well, even with that power, the North American Nebula basically filled almost a whole frame of the eyepiece, the whole field of view. And I think one problem is anytime you get an image and you blow it up, you're making the pixels or the image bigger, but then they're being spread out. So which means it's becoming fainter. So even though you might think, okay, a 4.7 inch refractor is going to collect a lot of light, but because it has a larger focal length, it's also blowing up the image bigger, and then it's making it dimmer. So I have used it in a different gray zone in a 4-inch f5 refractor, and because it's 500 millimeter focal length versus 600 millimeter, the image will be 11 power, making it a little bit smaller in the same eyepiece, let's say. So since it's not filling the whole thing, and now you can see a bit more space, it's going to be a little smaller, making it a little brighter, and you're seeing more of the black background, which then you should be able to distinct more of the nebula. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I was using is an 8-inch SET and a 4.7 inch. Now I, well, you might say downgraded, but I traded. I'm going to be using a 4-inch f5 refractor. Second reason why I traded the 4.7 for the 4-inch is the 4.7 is, I think it was 11 or 12 pounds, and then this guy's about 7 pounds. So it's a little bit easier because I was using it on an AZ3 mount. I don't want any counterweights. I just want something simple, lightweight, because I'm bringing 2 scopes, 2 mounts type of thing. So the 4.7 is a little tricky on the AZ3. I gotta have that nut really tight, or at certain angles, it's just, there's nothing to counterbalance it except for the friction of that nut. And you could do it, but like I said, I broke one of my slow motion controls because it's just so tight. Anyway, so a 4-inch f5 refractor would be better on an AZ3 mount. Now, I just decided, well, last year in November, end of November, that I want something bigger than an 8-inch in a dark sky. And the reason is, if you watch some of our videos that we did last year and this year, an 8-inch, even in a border zone 2, a gray zone, is, remember, a lot of people are thinking, you know, because there's a saying out there, to see deep sky objects well, you need 8-inch. But what you got to remember is 8-inch and above. 8-inch is the recommended and above. So which means the 8-inch, like for instance, when I showed Angela's the Hercules cluster, she could see it, but it's not like it's popping out in her face. It's like, yeah, I think I see like many stars, but it's not popping in her face. She doesn't have the greatest eyesight, okay, type of thing. She needs to wear glasses, but yeah, so just letting you guys know, or even the Andromeda Galaxy, you will see it, but remember, 8-inch is a start. You need to go, so 8-inch and above. So I am using 8, but I wanted to see it really well. So I ordered, at the end of November, a Meade 12-inch light bridge. Now we're in, well, actually today I'm taping, it's July 1st, which is Canada Day. I don't know when I'm posting this exactly, but it's still on back order. And now that Meade has been bought out, the dealer is saying it's probably at least another 6 months out. So I'm gonna decide if I go another route. But what I really wanted is to go from a 8-inch SET to a 12-inch. Now she should see those deep sky objects as well as me really well with a 12-inch. That's 4-inch diameter upgrade. Now, since it's taking too long, I decided I found a used Orion 10-inch Dob, and I thought, okay, I am going to just pick up that for now, use that until my 12-inch Dob comes. Okay guys, so this is what I found on the used market. I figure since the 12-inch is taking a long time to get in, just found this guy used. And I figure I'll take this guy in 2-inch, a 10-inch from an 8-inch is a 2-inch upgrade, and things will be considerably brighter in the eyepiece. Now it's not going to be as good as the 12, but it's good enough for now. However, now I did see something else that caught my attention, and again, you know, sometimes, yeah, I'm getting one to get the other, but sometimes it's just experience what is best. It's like you got to kind of figure out what's best for you as sizes. How much space do you have in the vehicle? Can you carry one? Can you carry two? What's the compromise between everything? Weight, size, portability, and still carrying food and clothing and all that for, you know what I mean? I just can't take whatever I want. So anyway, and actually the last time we went up there, our friends drove us up in their vehicle, so it's not like I can bring anything I want, or my 12-inch SCT, right? So anyway, so I figure 10-inch will be better than the SCT. It is more wide field, low power type of thing. It gives me 2 more inches. But I found this guy, and so I think I'm gonna now dump this guy because this is more portable and it's the same size, but I'll show you guys. Okay guys, I found this. A friend of mine, well, I did a video already on 4 scopes that I found, but a friend of mine, Canada-wide Astro, was selling this guy. So this is Meade. It's a Schmidt-Newtonian, and it's also a 10-inch, so same size diameter as this guy. But yes, this is a Moonlight dual speed focuser, so it's a really awesome focuser, and it's also 10-inch, so it's gonna collect. So I figure, okay, I'm gonna sell this guy and I'm gonna keep this. As you can see, look at the difference in height. It's probably about the same size weight as the tube, but if you look at the Orion base, you know, it's about 30 pounds by itself. So this Schmidt-Newtonian is a lot. You're gonna get this. Has a much better focuser. This is an f4 system, and this is an f4.7. So I think this is 1200 millimeter focal length, and I believe this one's 1000. Oh, it doesn't even say. I thought it would say on the cell there, but I believe it's a oh, it says over here. Yeah, okay, to be exact, 1016. But anyway, so it's an f4, so which means it's going to give me even lower power than this guy, little bit wider field of view, and that's exactly what I want, because again, I am looking at the deep sky objects like galaxies, nebulas, globular clusters, and things like that. So I want a wide field of view, but if I need to, I can push the power up. But it's also, again, as you see, portability wise, it's about the same weight, but it's almost 1.5 feet less, getting close to 2 feet less. So I'm gonna get rid of that one, and this is gonna be then the one I use for the deep sky objects until the 12 comes in. Now what I plan on doing with this is putting it on the LXD75, which I have. Now, some of you are gonna say that was kind of undermounted. Now Meade sold that on that mount, this guy, they sold a 6, 8, and 10 on the LXD75, and it sold fairly well. It's not going to be rock solid with the 10-inch, but again, I am not looking at fine detail. Like the planetary stuff is when I like to push it and like to rock solid, and then you can see all the fine detail. When you're talking about globular clusters and galaxies, even in a 10-inch, 12-inch, they're going to be just fuzzy halos, oval objects in the eyepiece. You're not going to see crystal detail anyway. So it's all about, again, compromise and portability, at least for me. So for me, it's fine. Yes, I could put it on an EQ6 like I have. I have 2 EQ6s right here. But, you know, again, carrying that sucker up north, and depending what vehicle we go, I don't think I can carry the EQ6. So it would be more rock solid, but it would have to be what I do something here in my place, so I can just take it outside in the backyard and view. But for portability and depending on how much space I have, and again, they sold it on the LXD75. I'm going to use it that way. It's not rock solid, but it's going to be okay-ish. And I'm just looking at the fuzzy things in the eyepieces anyway. You know, because I also showed Angelus like the M51. the two galaxies, and she saw it, but it wasn't crystal clear. Again, that's why I want to go to the 12-inch, because they're two little fuzz things. I try to show her the big galaxies kind of taking elements from the little galaxy. It's kind of eating it up, and she could see like two fuzzy patches, but that's really it. I know what, I've looked at it longer, so of course experience is a big thing as well. The more you observe, the more you will see. So of course this is only her, I guess she's only completed 1 year of observing casually, so she's not used to looking at dim objects in a little tiny eyepiece type of thing. So anyway, so that's what I use. So now I'm going to be using this guy, the 10-inch f4, and with a 4-inch f5 refractor until I get my 12-inch Meade light bridge. If Meade or whatever's going to happen with Orion and Meade and it doesn't go that way, I could go the Skywatcher 12-inch flex tube. The only problem is, I know, I did a couple of videos. I showed you guys the 10-inch Skywatcher flex tube, and it compresses, and I showed you on that video, 14 inches. So the problem is, I think the 12 is probably going to compress about the same, 14 to 16 inch maximum roughly. And I don't think it's going to be, and the mount is pretty big on the 12. So I don't think I have enough space for the flex tube where the light bridge comes apart. And I think I could, it comes apart where I can save more space, and it's going to be, well, I don't know about lighter, but at least I can fit it a little better than the flex tube where I can't take the top, the middle, and the bottom out. Anyway, guys, that's what I use right now. Or that's what I used last year. That's what I'm using this year. And we'll see whatever. It's all about compromise, what you can afford, what you can fit in your vehicle, I guess, where you're going, what do you want to see. Is it high-powered stuff, low, wide-powered stuff? It's all individualized, depending what you want. So this is what I'm going to use, and hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys use if you go to dark skies from light-polluted city skies. Joe Jaguar out. See you next time.